Where's the camera facing over there? How you doing? It's A-Rex Mafioso. If you don't know who I am by now, how the hell are you still on this channel? You should have been known by now. You should have been watching the videos, keeping up to date, keeping doing and all that crap. Listen, I have a responsibility and a duty to do at the moment, and it involves this. But I get if you're new and you haven't been caught up with all this shit. I'll get to that in a second. Let me first talk about what this piece of shit paper is right now. It is the Constitution of the Randomness Act, and I know what you're thinking. What the fuck is the Constitution of the Randomness Act? Well, I didn't write it. Eric wrote it. And I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, aren't you Eric? You're like the same. Yeah, we the same person, but on camera we're apparently two different people. He's like the creator. I'm like a character of some kind. And he over-exaggerates me or some type of shit. I don't know how this works. He's a mastermind, a puppeteer in this entire fucking game. He's playing me. He's playing all of you, doing something. He's got something in mind. He's concocting it, slowly building it, like the little piece of shit INTJ that he is. Some of you probably don't even know what the fuck that means. That's only he understands, and only I understand because I'm him and he's me, and whatever the fuck is all this shit. Listen. The Constitution of the Randomness Act is simply acclaimed to be something that he wrote in light of the modern times. You see, modern times are kind of fucked up right now. If you go outside, you may have a good time, enjoy the sun, but if you run into somebody, oh, that's where the trouble begins. You might run into a crazy, a lunatic with a rational mindset, a rational thought process, and who avoids science altogether. Now, I'm known for that. I'm known for sitting down in this very chair, looking down upon you, telling you all about the serious stuff. And I know what you're thinking. It's like, wait a minute, was it you? Was it Eric? Was it all a charade? Was it all real? I'll leave you to decide, because it's kind of like I said, it's a pawn in his game. We're all a pawn in his game. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's that confusing, and the more I think about it, the more meta it gets, and the more self-aware, and the more it just pisses me the fuck off. So, let's just get straight into this Constitution. Let's starting with the First Amendment of the Constitution of the Randomness Act. States here, right here, the First Amendment, conveniently enough, is the Amendment of Freedom of Speech. Now, unlike America, however, we take that amendment seriously and legitimately here, which means that anything goes in terms of words. It doesn't matter if the word is banned, is seen as prohibited, or whatever the fuck. Anything goes in this show. It doesn't matter if your feelings get insulted, because quite frankly, it should never matter if your feelings get insulted, because your interpretation, your perception of what is being said and how you're interpreting it should not piss you off. And if it does piss you off, how the hell is that our problem? We make the rules, we do the shit. That's too bad if you can't handle it. That's what I'm known for, and that's what Eric is known for too. And that's pretty much what I always do. So if you're not accustomed to that, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe this is not the show for you, and maybe this is not the channel for you. Maybe you should reconsider. But that's on you. Let me get through the rest of the amendments first before you go. Second Amendment right here. Forgot to mention, there's only 4, so I don't need to stretch this out too much. Second Amendment states right here that pretty much anything goes. I know what you're thinking. What the hell does that mean? Are you going to break some rules and boundaries? What I mean by anything goes, it means that in terms of story, in terms of writing, anything can happen at pretty much any time. Any story can get retconned. Any character could just show up randomly. Any random act that you can imagine in your irrational mind can form. Just form. Because that's the point. The whole point of this Constitution is to essentially create a reality based off of reality of how irrational we've become. And I know what you're thinking. It's like, it's a little preachy. But don't worry, we don't get preachy in the show. At least I hope we don't. I don't really know. Quite honestly, I'm kind of just as pissed off as you are. The fact that I was tricked into signing right here. Here's my name. I'm not going to show you that. That's my personal signature. You ain't about to see that shit. Nah. But listen. Amendment 3 is probably the one that pisses me off the most, because unlike Amendment 2, it's like a follow-up to Amendment 2 it's supposed to be written to like make a light of Amendment 2. But in actuality, it just makes Amendment 2 even crazier to think about, because Amendment 3 states right here that there is no script, essentially. There's a storyboard of episodes. Like, okay, in this episode, this character has to be there, this character has to be there, and this scene has to happen between two characters. That is it. There is no dialogue. Everything is completely improvisation, which pisses me off because it makes no sense. That completely throws the whole story for a loop. It's like, how is there a story if anything happens at the same time that you have to make it up on a spot and you have to play? So is there like fourth wall breaks? What the hell is this, WWE? But like, what is this? I don't know what this is, quite honestly, and it infuriates me. Because Amendment 4, Amendment 4 states that anybody that signs this contract has to show up every single episode of the season. And it doesn't matter how many characters they play, they need to show up every single episode. It is a requirement in the Constitution of the Randomness Act. Essentially meaning, if you sign this contract, it's a season-long contract, and you can't escape. Because if you try to escape, brother, the consequences are much worse than any law could ever give to you. You think solitary confinement's bad? Prison's bad? Oh. I ain't gonna even tell you what he has played. He's a little... But that's pretty much the Randomness Act. Here's my issue with this show, right? Is that it's not exactly clear as to what this show is supposed to be. It's completely random. It's based off of irrational thought processes. Which is funny because I could just come up with anything right now and that could be considered a Randomness Act episode. So it's like, how does this work? I don't know. You don't know. And I think maybe that's his point. Maybe that's the whole point he's trying to tell us. And what I can tell you, from what I could see, anyway, is that the first season is supposedly a closing story to everything that he's made up to this point. Meaning that there are 2 playlists that he has made and specifically created for the first season of the show, and that is going to conclude and finish off those character arcs for the first season of the show. Because even though a character could reappear in a future season, the season has to still conclude. It is in here, stated in the contract, right here on page... Three. There you go. Page 3. I knew. I was like, boy. So, pretty much, if you're not up to date, if you're not caught up, or if you have no idea what the hell the storyline that's going to take place in season 1 is, I think you should check out these 2 playlists right to my left and to my right. To my left, right here, is the Random OG A-Rex Content playlist, which essentially is the playlist where all the skits, well, not the skits, but specifically skit-made videos or music videos or trailers or teasers, including this one, is put. This is the playlist that all that stuff is. And currently in the playlist, there's multiple different film projects, as well as a few skits here and there that tie into the first season of the show. So if you want context in that regards, and in those characters in particular, like you got the Lounging King, you got the Sofa Guy, who else is in the show? You got Gregory, you got Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio, I know. Don't even... And a bunch of other fucking characters. If you want to know context, this playlist. Now, if you want to know context about me, and about how I ended up in this mess, how I ended up in this whole jumble-mumble, crazy-ass shit, check out this playlist, which is essentially the story arc of the end of this channel, which, if you don't know, the channel's ending tomorrow. Yeah, if you want context, this is the playlist for that context. It tells you almost everything. It keeps you up to date. I know certain videos in this playlist, you don't have to watch the whole thing because certain videos, they're about something completely different. But you do have to watch, like, the intro skits, and some of them have outro skits. So if you want to know the storyline and the story arc of this, check this out. I'm sure Eric is going to go into more detail tomorrow in his little spiel. And he's talking and sitting here talking about, oh man, it's been a great year, 600 subscribers, all that shit. You know how this kid can be sometimes. He's a little fucked up. He needs to get outside. Listen, swear to God, if next year I don't got muscles, I don't got abs, I'm killing this kid. Here's my dilemma at the moment. You want to know my dilemma? You probably don't, but I'm going to tell you anyway because I don't care. I'm the only motherfucker stupid enough who had to sign this. Because I didn't actually sign this. He signed this, but I'm him. So now on screen, I technically signed this contract because he made this. So, I don't know who would be stupid enough, dumb enough, gullible enough to want to sign this contract and want to be a part of the show. I genuinely got no idea. And that's a problem for me. Because if I have to play every single character, I think I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. And plus, it's not even going to be entertaining. What? You're just seeing the same motherfucker play every character? How is that entertaining? You think people can actually make a living off of playing the same characters in every single video and get millions of subscribers? You know, now that I think about it, not the subscriber thing. I ain't talking about that shit. I'm talking about people. I do know one retard who can sign this.
Sir, I need you to sign right here on the first page. Actually, the second page. Don't worry about that. Just sign right there. Perfect. And I also need you to sign the last page here. This is the most important page. Let's decide. What do you do? I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Alright.
Important, you say?
Yeah, very important.
Important.
Alright. See you on the show.
What show?